I'm happy to be here. And I would say last time was the first time I tried this hybrid, and it's a little bit special because now I can see they're online in 4 seconds, and suddenly there's more speakers. So this took me some time, but now they're online. So hello everybody. I'm really happy to chair this event. I think it's going to be very cool. And thank you for the introduction, Goran. I'm really happy about this. So I'm just going to give the scene today. And I will start by 3 slides, like the mandatory ones, like who am I, where do I work for? And then we get started. So this will be a little bit fast, but be patient. So who am I? So I am from CERN. My background is in physics. So, and I just want to tell this because this is also to understand the next part of my talk. So in 2007, I started my undergraduate and I started at CERN. And then I had a long education before I started to research myself. It was like 7 years of courses where we all got really uniform. A group of people with the same language. Then I was a little bit tired of traveling the world, being in one country higher than the one. I was in UK, US, Switzerland, France, and all of this. So I went home. My kids should go to school and get a more normal life. And I went to Grundfos. And suddenly it's different, right? We do not yet have educations for people. We do not have a uniform group. Everybody speaks different language. I mean, it's the same language, but different cultures and stuff like this, right? So it's just to understand where I'm coming from. And I was hired into Grundfos, which is a pump manufacturer. They have been doing pump for 40 years. They're number 1 in the world. We are 20,000 employees. And it's a really good company, actually. It's like, it's the grandson has taken over this company. It's a family-owned company. It's not like the CEO is going to a new project in a few years. It's not like one step on his way. They need this to work. And this is actually really important. And they believe in the digitalization. Even though there is a really big bumps on the way, I think this makes a difference. He really needs it because he sees this is needed, and he needs it to work because it's his destiny, right? He has the name from his grandfather. So I think this is something that is really appreciated. Okay, so let's go to the real talk today. I will talk about what is a data product lifecycle. Why is it really important that it's a teamwork exercise, and what is the takeaways? So what is the status of data projects? Let's just look at it. We still, even after these years, have a lot of projects failing. And we hear people saying it's not a technical challenge anymore, it's a people challenge, right? This is what we hear. And the question is, what does this actually mean? What is this people challenge actually all about? So if we go to more mature part of most companies, there's really well-known processes. We know who is going to do what in what kind of area. We know what is the interfaces. We know kind of who has the responsibility for each part of the chain, right? This is kind of known. But if we go to data projects, this is a little bit more unclear. The roles are being defined this year. We're not really sure what is the different roles, who is responsible for what, and how do we do this. We kind of start to have this feeling it's something about a wheel that needs to go fast. We need to come up with an idea. We need to collect some data. We need to make a model. We need to test the model. And then there's something we need to keep testing the model. Then we get new data and we can improve. And we also so we hear about data up, ML ops. And we also all have the idea, it starts with a good business case at the moment. We start to get there, right? We have the idea, we need something, we need this wheel to spin. We have ML ops, data up, all these words, and we need it to start with something. And how to do this? So we need some people in this life cycle, right? We need a data engineer who ensures the data is at the right place at the right time. We need a data science to create and validate the model. And then also we need somebody from business who knows what do we actually need and can get some feedback from the customer or from himself when he uses state dashboard. So we need somebody who knows it. Then we need somebody who can collect the data. And then we also maybe need somebody from the old R&D function, some domain expert, somebody who knows what is actually needed. And we need these people to work together in this loop because we need to use people what they're good at. In the more mature part of the business, we will not let anybody from the distribution go and tell how the fabric should be used, right? The same way here, we cannot let the data science go and require them to make up the business model. That's not their area of expertise. That's not what they are trained to. We should also not let the business owner go out and find the tool the data engineer should use. That is also not what they are trained to. So right now, it's really important everybody say, what am I trained to? And do that job. And then work together in this wheel. Because maybe when we are more mature, it's obvious to everybody who does what. But right now, it's a collaboration. So that is why I'm saying it's really a teamwork exercise in this stream, because until we know better of the interfaces, everybody needs to collaborate to understand what is it that I know and where should I contribute. So if we look at it, data engineers are normally in a data engineer team, and that makes sense, right? You need the junior data engineer to have an older one who can teach them what is good practice, how do we do it, especially since we don't have data engineer education yet, right? The same for data science. We need data people to be in a data science so Ola can learn them how to backtest, how to prune, how to create the models, how do I know when I can put it into production. We also need somebody from business who knows the area, who knows where do I have trouble. What can I do? We need the data collection. Their problem in the IT department. They can take it from SAP. They can have sensor outs. They get the information for. They can make scrapers. Maybe they are in the IT. And maybe there's a domain expert who sits in the R&D. And that all makes sense, right? That is good people. They are in a place where they can get some knowledge from older people. They can get the sparring. The problem is in a big organization, then they also have different managers. They go up to different directions. They go up to different CXO. They go up in the end to the CEO. That means if the data engineer have a problem from the IT, for example, then he needs to go to CEO in the end to make it work if the manager does not agree, right? And all of these people need to agree that this is the wheel that is most important right now to make this go fast. And if there's one of these managers or one director that does not agree about this, then the wheel will stop. And the problem with the wheel is stopping is it stops the whole thing. If you do not have the business there, the wheel might go, but maybe the wrong direction. If you cannot get the data from IT or something else, it will actually stop. And it doesn't matter how good data engineers or how good data science they are. They can simply not do this without collaboration. I'm convinced about this. I mean, because how can they, right? They can make a super good model, and we can maybe find out, but maybe there's no need for it. Maybe there's not a real problem. And also, the business people who's normally, they look at dashboards, they understand things, they go sell things maybe, but how can they know what can be done with this new technology? They need collaboration. And to get it into this, the faster it is, the better it will go. That's just how it is. Yeah. So one question you could ask here is, will data mesh help with this? So we have now established you need this different kind of people who all do what they are trained for, and you need them to collaborate. But then a few years ago, we also all talked about we need all data. We need to start to manage the data. So we needed to go into some maybe central team where we have best practices. It goes into a raw layer. We need the data quality to be there. We need to start and go into another layer so people can get access to this data. Because this is, of course, true. If we do not have access to the data, if we do not have good data quality, if we do not have all this, we cannot do anything either, right? Everything needs to be in place. But then, what about the circle? Because then if that needs to go into a central team and then back, then we slow it down, right? Then we are a little bit. But maybe data mesh can help. Because then maybe we can say we have this data mesh node here. So then it's just a node that the data engineer takes. Would that help? Then it could be to other nodes. Yeah, maybe this could help because then this data engineer then have this one, and then you need to, instead of this team taking care of the data. They should take care and ensure all interfaces are well understood. We understood what do we gain for this, what do we got, and stuff like this. But what if we took it a step further? Maybe this is maybe some of the key. What if we say now this is a node? So everything in this is a node that we work on together, not only the data management part, but also the tool set, also the data science, and say, to some extent, we make this virtual environment where these people now work on this node until we know it. So the data mesh will be like a little bit broader than only the data. I don't know, but maybe this can be an idea to try out, because this one, where we need all of this, this is really problematic. And I think this is what we are kind of talking on when we say there is a data problem. Yeah, or a people problem. So the takeaways from this opening, and I think we should keep in mind all the day, is to ensure collaboration. If you do not have collaboration between the right people, you have a problem. This will really be the culture you need to create something. You can have the best data people, you can make a data organization, but if they do not have collaboration with business, the IT, with everybody that is relevant for this one, it will not work. You really need the collaboration, and this will be like a temper about your organization, because the better your culture is in the organization, the better this will work. Then we go to the next one. Spend time. First thing you need to do is to spend time on the business idea. And it should be together. It should be the data science going into the room with some business people and discuss how can we do this. And if you think you spend a long time on it, spend a little longer time on it. You really need this, because that makes the real spending. That's the first step. And if you do not have this, yeah, you may be going the wrong direction, or you leave people hanging, right, waiting for maybe there will be something better. Then spend some time, when you have the business idea, you kind of have alignment there. Spend some time on the AI or advanced analytics strategy. Make the data science come up and say, this is what I expect that come out to this precision. Again, if you spend time on this, ensure it with the business, make sure you have an agreement, and then you go on. Then you ensure you have a full data flow, you understand that, and always keep an eye on the interfaces. The interfaces is where it gets really hard. And then the last one gets started sooner rather than later. Yes, thank you. That was my message for the starting point today.